We get into the message tonight on the Antichrist. Let's go through these answers. This is a very popular philosophy of life. It usually comes in this fashion. I'm saying, therefore, anything goes. Is this true or is it false? God is interested in saving my soul, but I can do whatever I want to with my body. Absolutely. That is dead wrong. Where is God's temple on earth today? Not made with bricks and stones? God makes His temple. Our body. What? Know ye not that your body is a temple of God? 1 Corinthians 6 tells us. Do you know what 1 Corinthians 3:16 says? Same thing. What? Don't you know that your body is a temple of God? And if any man defiles the temple, him shall God destroy. That's pretty severe, isn't it? What diet did God originally give to Adam and Eve? Fruits, nuts, grains, and then He added vegetables when the tree of life was taken away. There must be something about vegetables that, is essential for life. So eat your veggies every day. Name one clean meat and one unclean. Someone raise your hand and give me a clean animal. What is that? Chicken! Yeah, chicken. I went to the doctor when I told him my HDL was 3. He said the first thing I want you to do is cut down and eat small animals. I said, cats? You know what I mean, he said. You know what I mean. Is cats clean or unclean?
Unclean.
It's unclean. Yeah. Give me an unclean. Another unclean. Anyone over here? Pig. That's right.
A bear.
A bear? Who's eating bear? Raise your hand. The only one that here eating bears. Raise your hand. Have you eaten bear?
No, I never have.
Don't eat bear burgers. My wife ate bear. She comes from a family of men. Now, these are real men. They go out and hunt. Her brothers, her dad, shot a bear. We have a picture of it.
Rabbit.
Bear burgers. No more bear burgers, I'm sorry. Another clean animal. We've had what?
Deer.
Chicken.
Bambi.
What?
Bambi.
Bambi? You would shoot Bambi?
Never have.
You know, I went down, we have a backyard, goes to a stream, Blue Creek, and the grass was kind of high this summer, so I went down with my weed eater and was cutting down this hill, and up jumped Bambi. Was down asleep, and mother was somewhere nearby, and went, a beautiful thing. Spots all over it, ran down and ran across the creek. It put chill bumps up, and I had to shoot Bambi. All right, one more unclean fish. Unclean fish. Anyone over there?
Catfish.
Catfish. All right, Sharon.
Shrimp. Scallop.
Shrimp.
Crab.
Crab.
Lobster.
Sailfish.
And down in Louisiana, they'll eat anything. I lived down there. Crawfish etouffee. Oh my goodness. They smell horrible. We were in Africa, up near Kruger Park, Brother Ron, you've been up there, and we were there for a dedication of a new church that was built right outside Kruger Park, Seventh-day Adventist Church. And they had a fellowship dinner afterwards. The whole community, they were so happy that the Seventh-day Adventists were having this church. So many people from many denominations were there. It was a big potluck. And they had a table with vegetarian food, and they had the table with clean meat food, then they had a table with whatever. So I got a salad from the vegetarian table, and I'm eating it, and I told Sharon, this is the best salad. She says, I guess so, it has shrimp in it. I said, it does not. I got it from that table right there. She said, well, I don't care which table we got it on, that shrimp you're eating. So I went up and I asked them, I said, is this vegetarian? They looked, they said, no, it's got shrimp in it. I said, but I got it from that table. They said, well, we'll move it. So I that which God has ordained, because He has a reason for telling us, if you're going to eat meat, eat clean meat. See? And, all right, next one. In Peter's vision, someone says, Peter had a vision and God told Peter he could eat anything he wanted to eat now. We can eat rats, huh? Can eat camels? Can eat snakes? Some people do. In Peter's vision, what did the unclean animals represent? It represented Gentiles. Yes, Gentiles. It represented what the Jews were told were unclean. And he was told this is symbolic. And Peter says that. I now understand that we are to call no man unclean. Now, if you put down, tell the ladies, if someone put down humans or people, that I think that should go too, because we're talking about. All right. About tomorrow night's message, before I get going here, because I may forget, I don't know if it really makes that big of a deal for you, but I need to tell you, because there was a sheet that I sent here, and you've seen it, which gave a list of the topics. I'm going to take your last night's message and preach it tomorrow night. Instead of doing, we were going to talk about Babylon rising and the church coming out victorious. That will be the last message. Tomorrow night, we're going to look at when the devil takes a vacation. And hellfire, we'll also look at that for tomorrow night. All right, the first night, we started off with Daniel, the 2nd chapter. I invite you to turn your eyes to the screen just a moment. We're going to need to move along here in the beginning. So bear with me, not bear with me, but focus. We need to review the first night. Remember Daniel, because that is the basis of all the Bible prophecy of Daniel and Revelation, is Daniel, the 2nd chapter. So Daniel and Nebuchadnezzar have the vision of this molten metallic image that was struck on its feet with a rock. And this was all symbolic. Remember that molten metallic image represented basically a short story of the history of the world from Daniel's time all the way into eternity. This vision. Represented Babylon, Persia was represented by chest and arms of silver. Greece, you have there the thighs of bronze and brass. Rome, long leg lions. Rome lasted 3 times longer than anyone there. And then you have the divided division of Rome. There would never be a one-world empire again. From Rome all the way to the end of Earth's history, when God sets up His kingdom. And so the feet of iron and clay represented a divided world, many nations, until Christ comes. He is the rock of ages, that comes and hits the image on its feet. Not on its head, that would be Nebuchadnezzar. Not on its leg, on its feet. And this vision was for the latter days. We are living in the latter days now. We're down in the feet. Bible prophecy uses symbols to describe world powers and events. In Daniel 7, there are 4 beasts that come up out of the water. And each one of these beasts have the same representation as the multi-metallic man. The lion, for instance, represents Babylon. The bear represents Persia. Greece is represented by a leopard with 4 heads. When Alexander the Great died, he was so young he had no children to turn his kingdom over to, so he gave his 4 generals. They came around his bed, and he said, "You're in charge now." 4 heads of the leopard. And then you have Rome represented by the dragon that came out of the water in Daniel the 7th chapter. The 10 horns correspond with the 10 toes of the image. Seem to. The 10 horns represent the division of Western Europe. Okay, so in Bible prophecy, beasts represent political powers. You with me? Beasts represent what? Remember that. Remember that for tomorrow night. All right. So there we have, these beasts come out of water. That is significant as well. That is symbolic. Water in the Bible represents, all of these four beasts come out of water. What does water represent? Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be a fourth kingdom on the earth, and he comes out of that fourth kingdom, is Rome, which plays a significant part. After this I saw in the night vision, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, exceeding strong. It had huge iron teeth. It was devouring, breaking in pieces, and trampling the residue with its feet. It was different from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. That's what the Bible says about this last beast. More is said in Daniel about the last beast than all the other beasts put together. That beast, Daniel wanted to know especially about that terrible beast, because this is the beast that actually symbolic for the Roman Empire that condemned Jesus to death and put nails in his hands, and that tried to keep him in the grave. With the Roman seal, tried to keep him in the grave, but he came from the grave and he ascended to heaven. And then what did Rome do? Turned on the people of Jesus. Exactly a year ago, this month, on the 5th, 6th of October, Sharon and I flew over to Rome. And we spent a week there in Italy, actually about 9 days in Italy. We actually went to the Colosseum. There we're standing at the very place where these Christians gave their lives. It's a moving thing to stand there and realize these were families. All they had to do was take a piece of incense and place it on an altar before a god, a statue that represented the god, and their families were free, and they would be free to walk away. But because of their commitment to Jesus Christ, they would not deny his name. And they refused to do it. Anyway, what's wrong with that? Has anyone ever lit incense? That's a big deal. It's what it represented. What it represented that made the difference. It represented worshiping and giving allegiance to that idol, to that God. And Jesus said, thou shalt have no other gods. That's a commandment, isn't it? First commandment, thou shalt have no other gods. And then we went over to, not too far from the Colosseum. You can walk to it. We did. Called the Mamertinum prison. There's a church that's built over it. Church goes back to the 1st century. Of course, this particular building doesn't, but they've had a church since the 1st century. Do you know why? Because this church was built over the jail cell, which basically was a hole dug in the ground, where Peter and Paul both were incarcerated before they gave their life for Jesus. That was one of our favorite things to see in Rome, wasn't it, Sharon? It's one of the best kept secrets in Rome. It was not easy to find. It was easy to find when we knew where it was. So we walked down. I'm standing right there on the right, in the very place where the disciples, Peter and Paul, wrote letters where they were held because of their belief in Jesus. All they had to do was tell Nero, our allegiance is to you. Do you know why Nero had them executed? Because Nero believed he was a god. That's significant for our study tonight. Remember this. The emperors believed they were God here on earth. And all Peter had to do was say, well, I'm going to worship Jesus, and I'm going to also worship you, Nero. I refused to do it. Did I say something wrong? You're shaking your head like that. Oh, yeah, you.
No.
All right, she keeps me straight sometimes. All right, so you can imagine. It was basically a very dark place, and there was no way to get out and no way to get in. In the days of Peter and Paul, except a hole in the ceiling. They had dropped them down there, and there they were kept. It's quite a moving thing. There's another view on this. They think that they were there. I have fought a good fight. I finished the course. I hear my executioner coming. But there's laid up for me, he said, a crown of what? A crown of life. They can take my head off, but I will live again. They can crucify me upside down, Peter. He's thinking, I will live again. Rome did that. What happened to Rome when it disintegrated into the kingdoms of Europe? Water in the Bible represents, help me out, Revelation 17 verse 5. People, multitudes, nations, tongues. We've already seen that. Rome came out of a populated area. But it disintegrated, you see, into a populated area, which we know is Western Europe today. Represented by the 10 horns. As Daniel continues to look at this beast, something strange happens to his head. It begins to develop a growth on its head. This is gross. This growth gets larger. It's a horn that comes out of its head. As it pushes up and comes out of its head, this horn, he notices, has eyes. And it has a mouth. And as it comes up, it pushes 3 other horns out of the way. No way, this is a nightmare, isn't it? Before whom 3 of the first horns were plucked out by the roots, Daniel 7:8 says. This is significant. Because it says, and there in his horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking pompous words. Who is this beast? Daniel wanted to know. And we too want to know. And especially, who is the horn, Daniel said. I want to know who the horn is. Who does he represent? We're going to look at who this horn is tonight. There are about 3 major identifying things. I could give you 10 or 12, but we'll just stick with 3 or 4 that are to prove who the horn is, that little horn. It arose among the 10 horns, so it has to come out of Western Europe. It has to come out of this area. And as it comes up, it roots up 3 of the horns. You see the circles there? Those are the 3 that are no longer with us. Of the 10 horns, or the 10 nations of Western Europe, only 7 survived. 3 of them were annihilated by this little horn power. Those 3 are the Ostrogoths, the Heruli, and the Vandals. Where was the headquarters for Rome on this map? You see the boot there? See where the Heruli were? That was the headquarters for Rome. That's where Rome, Italy is. That is the seat of the little horn power. It would arise after the horns. After Rome had disintegrated into the 10 kingdoms we call Western Europe today, or 7 of them, Western Europe. And Rome, you see, for it has to be from after 476. I mean, the little horn power has to be after 476. We know that from history. From 476 to 538 is when this little horn power was coming up. I'm reading a book by Professor LaBianca, who is a professor of history at the University of Rome. He says, to the succession of the Caesars came the succession of the pontiffs in Rome. When Constantine left Rome, he gave his seat, his throne that is, to the pontiff. What is this word pontiff? What does that mean? We're talking about